Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Bonjour! Welcome back to You Cook, I'll Bake.
Re-bienvenue à You Cook, I'll Bake.
The perfect show for the imperfect chef.
L'émission parfaite pour le chef imparfait.
I'm Danielle.
Je suis Andrea.
And this is our French episode.
Eh oui, c'est l'épisode française. C'est super.
We are super excited to celebrate the French cuisine today.
I think I'm more excited than anybody else. I cannot wait. I'm so excited about this.
If you don't know by now, Andrea has an extensive background and history with French. She is a French teacher.
Yes, I am. I'm a French teacher. I teach 7th grade through 12th grade French at the greatest school on the planet, and
But we're not going to tell you what that is.
No,
because, you know, stalkers.
But I am. There is that. I have so many. But I'm so excited to be able to share with you guys today a little bit of, you know, what makes me me and
oui.
And that's going to be fantastic. So today what we are going to be preparing for you can start with yours if you'd like.
We will be starting with dessert, as anyone
Naturally.
should.
Why would you not?
With my favorite, your favorite, crème brûlée.
Crème brûlée.
Crème brûlée.
Crème brûlée. You got to get the R in there. Crème brûlée, which by the way is a custard that has sugar that has been burnt on top. Hence the brûlée part. Brûlée means burned.
Yes, my husband and I actually have a little bit of a tradition. Every time we go to a restaurant, we check the dessert menu. And if they serve crème brûlée, we get it.
Oh, yes.
And we're up to like 45 crème brûlées together.
Yeah, I'm just up to 45 crème brûlées just in general. I mean, just in general. I'm going to be preparing today for you guys a beautiful chicken cordon bleu and a lovely, lovely tomate à la Provençale. Tomate à la Provençale. That is tomatoes that are cooked in the south of France way to make it. It's going to be lovely and I can't wait to show you.
All right, let's
Here
get
we go.
started.
Bon appétit!
One thing I love about this crème brûlée recipe is it's super simple and pretty quick. It takes very few ingredients. I have my heavy whipping cream here. We will need 2 cups of this. I did add those lactase enzymes 24 hours ago, probably a little bit more, and let it set, breaks down those lactose sugars, easier on the tummy. I've got 6 eggs. I'm only gonna need the egg yolks. I've got 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla and 1/3 cup of sugar. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and separate our eggs. Only keeping the yolk. It's okay, it's cool, it's all good. This one's not wanting to cooperate. Ah!
Put it in your hand. Let that yolk fall through.
Ugh.
Just do it. One time.
No,
Yes.
no,
Put it in my hand.
no.
Actually, we'll do it in a minute. It does make it easier. God gave you that separator.
Okay, we're
Do
gonna
it.
try something.
Be brave. Be brave.
We're putting the separator away.
Yes. Do it. God gave you beautiful, beautiful egg separating tools.
We're just gonna put the egg in my hand because that's okay.
Just like
that's
this.
normal.
It is.
Okay, so I don't need that.
Just
I don't
put
need
it
that. I don't need that.
That's
I need the
perfect.
yolk.
Go. Now drop it. There you go.
Oh.
Here. I'm jumping in too. Hold on.
I don't need the
Okay,
white.
here.
Remember?
Okay.
I need just the yolk.
I'll do like this. Do like
Okay,
this.
that's better.
Do like this. Do like this. Do like this. It's the best ever.
Okay.
Your face is my favorite. I love your face.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
Just
now
use the
I've
shells.
held a raw egg in my hand. For those that don't know Danielle don't, homie don't play that. Dang it. Well, I did this earlier and it went a lot better. But I guess this is when you start seeing our true colors shining through. I never claimed to be the chef of the family. There you go.
Boom.
1 egg down. Okay.
Moving on.
I'm gonna gather myself really quick and I'll be right back.
That was so much fun. That's my favorite part of the episode so far.
Now that we have our 6 egg yolks that we have gone through it for, we're going to combine our 1/3 cup of sugar with those egg yolks and whisk it together. At the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and get the 2 cups of heavy whipping cream on the stove to start warming. You want to warm this over medium heat, stirring occasionally until it just starts bubbling around the edges. You do not want to bring it to a boil. This we want to get nice and creamy until it's combined really well. And I almost forgot. We also want to turn on our water to boil. The water is actually going to be used in the baking process. We're going to put our jars, our little mini jars of creme brulee in the oven. We're going to surround it though with the water. It's going to sit in the pan with the water so that it bakes it more evenly. And that is called a water bath. So our cream is starting to bubble just around the edges a tiny, tiny bit. We're gonna move this cream off of the heat. And now we're gonna add in our 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Now that we've let our cream and vanilla sit for just a little while, we are going to begin to temper the eggs. So we are going to pour just a little bit as we whisk into our eggs, just a little bit of that cream, and that will allow them to combine without cooking the eggs. We don't want the heat from the cream to scramble the eggs. And now that we have our cream and our eggs combined, we're gonna strain them. We want to pour this egg and cream mixture through a small strainer into a cup or bowl that has a spout on it so that we can evenly distribute the cream into the serving containers. We want to strain it to ensure that none of the eggs were cooked and there aren't any pieces of shell or anything else in there. Just make sure that we grab anything that isn't liquid. And now to distribute our cream into our serving containers. Here I have ball glass jars. These are the 8-ounce glass jars. You can do 6 ounces. You can also do ramekins. I like these because they come with lids, and we do want to cover these as they are chilling in the refrigerator. I'm not filling them fully to the brim, but I'm also not filling them as much as I think I will be filling them because I want to make sure that they're all even. So now I'm just going to go back and even them out. My water is now coming to a boil, so I'm going to take a cake pan, something that has a nice ridge around it. I'm going to pour the hot water into this pan about 1/3 of the way deep. Once I set those jars into the water, we don't want them to be too full. We don't want that water to overflow. We want to be able to get it in and out of the oven without making a big mess or hurting ourselves. So don't fill it too full. You can add more water to it later if you need to. And now we're just gonna sit our jars into the pan. I've got my oven up to 325 degrees. I'm gonna put them on the lower oven because it's a little taller and these jars have a little bit of height on them. We're gonna let those cook for about 30 minutes and then we'll move on to chilling them.
Rebonjour, je suis revenue à vous montrer comment préparer le cordon bleu. Le cordon bleu, the cordon bleu, I am here to present to you how to cook a cordon bleu. I'm so excited about this. The chicken cordon bleu is technically a Swiss dish. Actually, it originates in Switzerland. However, it's widely known across the States and widely known pretty much everywhere as a French dish as well. So today we're going to begin with our chicken. I have already cut most of this chicken up and actually used a mallet to flatten it out a little bit because we want something that we can roll. But I'm gonna show you how that's done now. So I'm gonna take my chicken and I've got it on a nice working surface that is good for meat. Do what you can to use a plastic or an antibacterial, antimicrobial cutting board for your chicken. And we're gonna take the chicken and we're gonna use a very, very sharp knife, so please be careful. And we are going to cut this chicken straight in half. We're basically gonna be butterflying it and then just going ahead and cut it in half. And thanks to my lovely, amazing husband, I have these new knives that cut like butter. Or, en français, beurre. So here is my lovely 2 pieces of chicken. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of plastic wrap. I'm gonna cover it. Now the reason why we cover it is you don't want pieces of chicken flying everywhere. So we're gonna take the mallet, and I have 2-sided mallet here. I've got a flat side and I've got the wedge side here. I'm gonna use the flat one because I don't want any of the holes in my chicken. So I'm gonna use the flat side and we're just gonna hit the chicken just to flatten it out and give us more working space. I have the chicken. It has officially been beaten into submission. It's wonderful. So I'm gonna take the plastic wrap off. We're gonna get rid of that. And now what I wanna do is actually wanna go ahead and season my meat. I've got 2 things that I'm gonna season with, and the first is some beautiful sea salt. And this is sea salt directly from France. I actually picked it up in France the last time I was there. And then I'm actually gonna add a little bit of pepper. And then last but not least is some Dijon mustard. Now, pro tip is gonna be on the website. So check the website out, youcookoutbake.com, to do a Dijon mustard sauce. As an alternative, I'm adding some Dijon mustard to the inside of my chicken. There we go, all right. Now that I have the Dijon mustard on my chicken, I'm going to add some Black Forest ham that I picked up at the grocery store. And I'm also gonna add some Gruyere cheese. Now, Gruyere cheese is delicious Swiss type cheese. I've chosen to get the aged Gruyere cheese, and I'm going to add little slices of this cheese to my chicken. Once I have my Gruyere cheese on my chicken, now I'm going to roll my chicken up and get it prepped for the frying process. I'll show you that in just a minute. And there you have it, guys. I've got all of my lovely chicken already ready to go. Now, one thing I will tell you, a pro tip that I want you to know is I have my salt and my pepper in these little containers because I'm messing with raw chicken. The wooden container that I typically go for, that's our day-to-day salt. This is the stuff that we use all the time. Be sure if you're working with raw meat, set aside some salt and pepper that you're gonna use specifically for that raw meat. And that way there's no cross-contamination. That's a really good pro tip that you should do on a daily basis. With that said, I am going to go ahead and salt and pepper my chicken on the outside before I get ready to bread it and fry it. So I have my chicken rolled up with my Black Forest ham, my Dijon mustard, my Gruyere cheese. In order to avoid Hulk hands, use tongs. This is fantastic. We're going to take our chicken, dip it in our beaten eggs, and then we're gonna dip into our breadcrumbs. Now, super special fact about these breadcrumbs are gluten-free breadcrumbs. I love gluten-free breadcrumbs when it comes to frying things. They are really, really crisp, almost like panko breadcrumbs, really, really great, and panko breadcrumbs are extremely crunchy. So we're gonna take and we're gonna drop off any excess egg and dip our chicken into the breadcrumbs. Let it get nice coated on every side. And then we're gonna set it to the side. And that toothpick that's in there is gonna keep it together. Just remember, after we're done frying, pull the toothpick out, because otherwise that's a terrible bite of chicken. The oil is up to temperature. Let's get this going. So I'm gonna take the Cordon Bleu, the chicken, and I am going to place it directly into the oil. Oh, that's the sound. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the oil to brown the breadcrumbs. We're not looking for it to cook all the way through, because this is actually going to go into an oven to finish off at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. One thing to remember, anytime you're frying something, don't crowd the pan, because inevitably you're going to end up with meat that is rubbery and it's been steamed at the same time it's been fried, and that's not what we're looking for. The chicken has been cooking for about 3 minutes per side, so now I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over. Look at how lovely that is. It's nice and brown. Some of the breadcrumbs have actually come off a little bit in the pan. That's not a big deal. We're not worried about that. Be very careful anytime you're frying something. You definitely want to give yourself enough room away from the pan because it could pop back at you. The oil could pop. You have to be very careful with that. We're going to let it cook for another 3 minutes. Then I'm going to transfer it to the pan and get the other section of chicken that I have here ready to go. But ça va être fabuleux. Je vous promets.
So we pulled our creme brulee jars out of the oven. We let them sit at room temperature and cool down just a little bit. We have now topped them with the lids, and we're going to put them in the fridge for at least 4 hours so that they can solidify, thicken up. The way that you know that they are ready, that they were done, they had just a slight jiggle to them.
Kind of like me.
It's kind of hard to tell. They're not soupy, but when you tap them on the counter, they jiggle just enough to show that they're ready.
So we're going to make something now called tomate à la Provençale. Tomate à la Provençale. Répète après moi. Ready? Tomate.
Tomate
à la Provençale.
à la Provençale.
After me. Tomate après moi. Répétez après moi. This is me being a teacher right now. This is fantastic. Tomate à la Provençale.
Tomate à la Provençale.
Oui, tomate à la Provençale. Tomate à la Provençale are basically halved tomatoes with gloriousness on top of them. So we're going to go back to our gluten-free breadcrumbs. We're going to be using these in our topping of our tomatoes. And then we're going to add some herbs. And I'm going to put a little Madame Dijon, Madame Andrea to the mix here. This is going to be my little version of it. So we'll start with some garlic. Garlic is going to be minced up really, really nice and fine. And while I'm doing that, if you don't mind, Danielle, would you look through these herbs and make sure there's no big stems in the herbs? And in that herb mixture right there, I have got some flat leaf parsley or Italian parsley. And I also have some oregano from my garden. Now, the typical Provençal recipe calls for just parsley. However, I have herbs in my garden. I want to use them, so that's what we're going to do. So I've got 1 garlic clove. That's all I need. So I'm going to add that to my breadcrumbs here. And then I have here some capers. Capers are little berries and they are brined, kind of like pickled. So we're going to take some of these capers. I'm going to use probably about a tablespoon of capers. And I'm just gonna chop them up, just a fine chop. This is my little added little bit to it. I love capers. Capers give it a nice little bite, but also give it a little bit of a briny vinaigrette taste to it. It's wonderful. I'm also going to add some of my Parmesan cheese that I beautifully grated in my adorable little grater. And I'm gonna use probably, let's go with a 1/4 cup. And now I have my herbs here. I've bunched it all together. I'm gonna give it a really nice chop. Goodness.
Release the smells.
Let's go.
Okay,
Steven, why don't you get in here real quick? You can smell the earthly smells of the herbs. This is Steven. Steven was one of my students. He is now a student at the great University of
Georgia.
There you go. Go dogs.
Ooh.
So he is, you are too tall. Go stand between us. There you are.
There we go.
Steven was one of my French students, and he is now a sophomore.
I'm gonna be a junior.
I disgusted. I was ill prepared for that. No, Steven is going to be here to taste test a little bit later, so it's going to be great.
Good. It's gonna be real good.
It's going to be wonderful.
Come on.
Okay, so I have my tomatoes. Let me show you what I did with the tomatoes. I've got these lovely tomatoes that were on the vine, pulled the vine off, and then I've taken my knife, and all I did, simple as this, cut in half. That's all we have to do is cut them in half. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to salt them. I want them nice and salted on the top. With the breadcrumb mixture, I want to add a little bit of olive oil to this. So I'm going to take my olive oil. I'm going to probably add about a 1/4 cup of olive oil to this. That may be more like a 1/3 cup. And I am going to mix it together. And what that's going to do is give me a good foundation to like pick up the breadcrumbs and put them on the tomatoes, and that way they stay. It gives you
makes them a little grabby.
Yeah, nice and grabby. Who doesn't like grabby things? What we're actually going to do is take these over to the stove, and we are going to turn them upside down in some oil.
4 hours later. No, I'm just joking. It has not been 4 hours. I actually made these this morning. because I wanted them to be ready to show you how to top them with the sugar and get that nice little crunch on top. If you have a torch, you don't have to do this. If you don't have a torch, which I don't, we're gonna use the broiler in the oven. So I put them back in the same pan that I had the water in, just dumped the water out. It is now empty. And I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar, granulated sugar, and I'm just gonna top them, shake them a little bit, get that even layer. We're just gonna give them a little shake. So I'm gonna set these to the side and wait for the tomatoes to be done. And then we will pop these in, get them a broil, 5 minutes.
Perfect. I have my chapelure, my breadcrumbs, and my herb, and my ail, my garlic. I have all of my ingredients ready to go. My tomatoes are ready to be topped, so I'm going to take my mixture and just place a nice little heaping amount right on top. Don't worry about if it falls off of the tomato. Don't worry about any of that. It's not a problem. I'm going to add it all right on top. Remember, I have my fromage, my cheese in there, my fromage. I have my capers in there as well. That's my little added bonus. I'm going to take this now, and this is going straight into the oven. While we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and pull my Cordon Bleu out that are done. These look lovely. Now I'm going to take this, and this is going in the oven for 10 minutes at 350 degrees, and that's just to get the top layer of the breadcrumbs all nice and warm, and it lets the cheese melt, lets the garlic cook. That's going straight in. 10 minutes. Oh, you can see the crunchy goodness happening. The cheese, everything is all good. The liquid from the tomatoes has actually come into the breadcrumbs. Oh, it's insanely delicious. Are you as excited as I am?
I am extremely excited. I got to taste just the cheese from the pan.
Le fromage.
Le fromage from the
Le fromage.
And it was delicious.
Oui.
So I know that this is going to be amazing.
Oui, absolument. Nous avons le cordon bleu. Nous avons le tomate à la provençale. Nous avons notre charcuterie et nous avons aussi une salade avec des fraises et du chèvre. So, we have our cordon bleu. We have our tomate à la provençale, our provincial tomatoes. We have our charcuterie board with our meats and cheeses. Check the pro tips on the website for that one. Check the pro tips on the website as well for our salad, which is a strawberry goat cheese balsamic salad, insanely delicious. I used some really lovely honey goat cheese for that. So, are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, I am.
Tu es prête? Tu es prête?
Oh, I'm ready.
Alors, on va goûter. Goûter means to taste. On va goûter.
I'm sure it's gonna be
Goûter. Look at you go. All right. Une tomate à la provençale sur l'assiette. J'ai une fourchette, un couteau. Tu veux chercher une fourchette? You want a fork?
Oh, I do.
Oh, yes.
I thought you were asking me if I wanted the first bite.
Ah oui, no. Tu vas avoir le premier goût. Oui, bien sûr. Vas-y. Alors, moi, je vais prendre cette partie ici. Salut. Alors.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Délicieux.
Delicieux.
C'est parfait. Bon appétit. Hey, les enfants. Want to try?
I'm her
Oh, I
daughter.
definitely
This
do.
is
Yes,
Hallie,
this is my daughter, Hallie.
the middle daughter.
Tall guy over there.
We
Scoot.
already introduced him.
Oh yeah, that's some nice stuff right. Oh, I'm just
There
looking
he is.
there.
Tall.
Here too
That's
tall.
some nice stuff right
There's a
there.
lot of flavor.
Wait, can you say délicieux?
What she said.
Il est excellente.
Oui, c'est Alex. Excellente. Très bien. C'est excellent. Merci beaucoup.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes are delicious. Let me taste those. Give me my fork back.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao. It's good.
I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
Don't like tomatoes, but I feel like
Give it
this
a
is
shot.
gonna be
It's the
incredible.
crunch. It's,
I know.
it's hot. Be careful. It's hot.
I'm ready for it.
It's like a really
The
nice,
herb.
crunchy tomato sauce.
The herb has a
I don't even
different-
like tomatoes, and I would eat them like that.
Ah,
I
there you
would.
go.
It's the crunch.
Tomate à la provençale. C'est fantastique.
Oh,
really, really, really
You know what I can't wait for? Crème brûlée. We
yes.
should check and see how it's looking.
Our creme brulee is ready. Still a little bit warm, but
Come on.
nice and toasty on the top. So we're gonna give this a taste.
And you're listening for that sound. That's what
Great.
you're listening for.
We break the top shell. Get that nice little crunch. I'm gonna scoop a little.
You go right ahead.
You typically would want this to set for at least 30 minutes in the fridge after it comes out from under the broiler, just to solidify. It got a little soupy, but we can't wait.
And I'll be honest with you, when I passed up a dessert, not happening. Oh yeah. Oh, the vanilla.
The flavor's there.
The vanilla.
The texture, the crunch. It's fabulous.
Boom.
It's fabulous.
Le boom. Oh.
Take us out, Andrew.
All right. So, merci d'avoir regardé aujourd'hui. Merci pour votre attention avec le cordon bleu, avec les tomates à la provençale. N'oubliez pas de visiter notre site web youcookoutbake.com et partager tout sur social media. Merci beaucoup encore. Et vas-y.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to head to youcookoutbake.com to get the recipes, pro tips, and more.
Ah oui.
Subscribe to our channel. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And join us next week as we prepare for Memorial Day.
Oui, absolument. Ça sera génial. Merci. Bon.
See you later.
Ciao. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Bonjour.
Welcome back to You Cook, I'll Bake.
Oh,
This is
bienvenue.
when-
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
We need to start over. Do it again.
Okay, here we go. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3.
Bonjour.
Forgot about it again. That's it. We're just trying to get the intro taken care of. 3, 2, 1, go.
Bonjour.
I forgot to say bonjour!
Oh, Rona.